Hello and welcome to another episode of Chop It Up. Today, I guess we're going to be a little more off the cuff than usual. I have a few things to say about current events, and then I'll move along into some of my recent experiences, if that's cool with everybody.
Yeah, let's keep it lighthearted.
Yeah. Well, this is not going to be all that lighthearted. It's just this. I've been seeing on the news where a lot of places now, social development is a lot about inertia, overcoming the stagnant, non-active state and becoming active. And I see now that there's a lot of movement towards revisionist history, where all these statues are getting taken down and paintings are getting taken down and all this other stuff. And the first thing I'm going to say about that is viewing these guys from the past, these historical figures, in a different light is a form of hypocrisy, because these guys have been the same cruel and the same mean-spirited, the same, basically, as a human, evil people that they've always been. This one vice president who was a racist, you know what I mean? And he's always been a racist, and people have always known he's been a racist, but now it's like, ooh, he's a racist, and he's always been, And the other thing is, when are they going to start to build something? All they're doing is tearing stuff apart. All they're doing is taking stuff away. They're not doing anything. They're not.
Well, you got to give time, Robert. You got to destroy a building before you can put a new building in its place.
I'm not talking about the physical reaction, the physical result, taking away statues, taking away paintings. What I'm talking about is the fundamental result. When are the people in power going to start building something? I mean, how long have the Native Americans had the casinos?
What? What does that have to do? What are you talking about?
Well, why do the Native Americans have casinos?
Why? Because they have to be able to make some sort of income on the shitty land that the United States government gave them.
So a form of reparation, you'd say?
Yes.
No, because the thing is that they're considered Native Americans or American Indians. They're in a weird place because they are their own nation that we take care of because we took all their shit.
Right. So
they're in a really, and they are probably one of the most marginalized groups.
Okay. So
in this it is ridiculous.
So your explanation only furthered, I believe, my statement that it is a form of reparation. You're saying why, and I'm just saying that the U.S. government took this small marginalized population and granted them a great boon.
They didn't grant them anything. They moved them.
I'm not talking about what happened then. I'm not talking about what happened in the 18th.
What's the boon they're granting them now?
The casinos. The billions and billions of dollars.
But the United States government isn't paying for them to have casinos.
The United States government is allowing them to have casinos where nobody else can.
On their sovereign land. They're their own country.
It doesn't matter. Sovereign land, my ass. I'm down here. It's on Chrome Avenue. It's on 441.
It is supposed to be sovereign land.
Whatever. Do you know?
They have their own tribal government. People that have been incarcerated in the Florida Department of Corrections and they're American Indians, they actually get money from their tribe.
Of course they do. Of course they do. Hey, look, I was in prison. I saw the guys that were getting all the money. Anyway, what I'm saying is, and I drive by the Seminole police station and I see all the
money for everything taken from them. Are you kidding me?
You're talking about what happened then. Okay, well, listen.
I'm talking about what happens now. I just to this great podcast because you know me and my love of podcasts. Indigenous women, they are killed at an alarmingly high rate. And nobody cares.
Okay.
That's why you have that one runner that has like the red paint over her mouth.
Okay. Now,
Dude, they got like, and only some people got some casinos.
Okay.
And then there's a whole bunch of issues with there's a whole bunch of stuff.
Okay.
There's a whole bunch of
now,
stuff.
I'm just going to say this. If a person listened to just the parts that you were saying and didn't hear that we were talking about American Indians or Native Americans or however you want to call it, almost some of the same situations that you were talking about could have been applied to the black people that were brought over here as slaves.
No,
Yeah.
we're not living on African land.
Okay. First things first. That is redundant. That is redundant. Throughout
How is that
history,
redundant?
hold up. Throughout history, right? Throughout history, when one empire expanded geographically, it was always at the expense of a lesser developed culture or civilization.
The
Hold
issue-
on.
And it's not a lesser. We wiped them out with smallpox and other
doesn't-
diseases.
Lesser because they didn't have the smallpox to give to us. Hold on.
Hold on. I have somebody calling me. I'm gonna have to be back.
Well, thank goodness
is
for
a-
that. Maybe
I'll
I
be
can get a
back.
word in now. Barry, listen. How come they didn't make the American Indian slaves?
Good. How are you?
Huh?
Oh, I understand because
You're excellent. I got your message.
because they wouldn't go
yesterday.
for it. They tried.
Yeah, of course
They
they
were-
tried.
they were
But what
too-
I'm saying is, in
they
the
were too
in the
warlike.
modern world, in modern technology, modern sense, whatever you want to call it, the Native Americans have been given a great financial boon.
What do you hear?
They're given their own place. They're given their own government. They're given their own resources.
Yeah.
They have an opportunity to make money hand over fist.
Yeah,
You see the casinos down here.
and
Nobody else is allowed to have a
and-
casino.
and I understood where you was going. Yeah, I understood where you were going. When was some reparations going
Hey,
to
look, look at
handed
Waldo.
down to the?
Look at Waldo. Waldo, come here, boy. Hey, Waldo. Come here, Waldo. That's a good boy. You see, you got to put your dog voice on. Come here, Waldo. Come here. Come here. That's a good boy. Waldo, come over here. Get on TV. Waldo.
Eat the computer, Waldo.
Waldo, if you got to go to the bathroom, you just go right there, Waldo. You don't got to move. Damn it, Waldo.
Yeah. Yeah, but I understand what you were saying. Whereas they all affording the opportunity, after being done so wrongly, they were at least it might not be enough, but there
It's
was
something.
an effort put forth to try to help them. Whereas the blacks that were brought over here, true enough, we're not indigenous to this country, but we're not indigenous to anything because they took us from our country and left us over here for generations and generations.
And
then
the
said,
fact
"Okay,
that
you free."
the fact that they were brought over, does that minimize the wrong? Hell no, it doesn't minimize the wrong.
No. To me, it exacerbates
Now,
it.
one of the
Yeah.
big things that I recommend is not getting involved with
Yeah.
anybody
Yeah, man.
when you're
To
fresh
me,
out.
it exacerbates it and makes it
And
even worse.
what the hell is
because-
taking down a couple of
Because
statues?
that's why they
What
were
the
not-
hell is
they
that?
enslaved them.
So she's just your friend right now.
What the hell is taking down statues? What the hell
It's
is
really-
rewriting the history books and saying that this guy was a slave owner and that guy was a slave owner and this guy mistreated his slaves and that guy treated his slaves good? What the hell is treating slaves good? What does that mean? What does that mean? That you were a humane slave master? Is that like an oxymoron?
Yeah.
A humane slave master? What the hell is
Exactly.
that?
A true dichotomy. No such creature.
It's crazy, man. So now they're going to tear down some statues and be like, all right, we tore down some statues. Let's get back to business. What the fuck is that?
No, you didn't explain that.
yeah. All of it is just symbolism to show, the appease the people to let you know that, hey, we're on your side. We're going to take down these racist statues and this and that. But you haven't taken down the racist mindsets. What are you doing to take away the racist mindsets?
And like I say,
you said, what kind of opportunities are you going to afford to the people who have been wrong?
do you mean to tell me, I'm moving the microphone. I'm going to move the microphone here a little bit.
But you need to.
Do you mean to tell me
in order to get to the
that
program, it had to go through a
these people just now want to find out or just now want to admit that these guys were slave owners.
But all you need to do is look up the
Yeah.
I mean, what was it, a state secret?
only
It was
because
a
of
state
those-
secret until now? And see, this is the other thing. You know,
just the,
human nature, a person only tries to hide something that they know is wrong. So the fact that they're trying to hide
yeah,
or tried to hide or tried to avoid talking about the fact that these guys were slave owners only shows that they knew it was wrong. Let's talk about everything except the fact that he's a slave owner. Let's talk about everything except the
Yeah.
fact that he did this and he did that. You know?
talk about the fact that he never did
What
anything
counties-
for
what counties
those
DJ
people that he
Jack?
had enslaved. But
Somerville?
let's talk about all the good stuff he did for the good white people.
Somerville, and that's
I'm
Tennessee.
turning up the sound a little bit.
Okay.
I hope this
And
doesn't
it
get
was
much
underneath
feedback.
the name Charles Gardner. Yeah,
Go away.
Yeah, so you coming in, Cliff.
it was special. And when did you earn it?
Must be a hell of a phone call. That's all I got to say. So I got some stuff I want to talk about too, man. Listen, I have had some very new experiences since our last show.
All right. Well,
First
let me look
one-
that
Oh
up.
yeah.
Is I went and bought one of these things right here.
How much?
It's one of those SMR rollers
It's
Oh.
excellent.
that you get on and
What
you,
is-
you roll,
Yeah.
you know, like you put it under your arm and
You
roll
roll
back
it?
and forth on it with your
Yeah.
body weight, and it gives you like a deep tissue massage.
Yeah.
And let me tell
Like
you
a
something.
massage. Yeah.
These things right here, oh
Yeah.
man,
Yeah.
it hurts so bad it makes me laugh. All I could do is sit there and giggle because it's
I
just,
was gonna
ooh, it hurts.
say that looks like a torture device.
Oh man, it is. And then the other thing is, I've been doing a lot of hold on.
All right.
I've been learning a lot about flying drones. I got a drone.
Okay.
And I had
Oh
to
yeah.
register.
You'll
Look, I had to put a number on it.
okay. And so now you'll
It's
give
like
me
an
a call
airplane.
back tomorrow
yeah?
to find out
Yeah.
about the
Oh.
I was going the wrong
Yeah,
way.
in case you
All right. Sounds good.
Yeah, in
Charles.
case
try
You're
to
welcome. Okay. Bye.
I guess
Since you decided to put
they
some kind of-
catch me
Yes.
doing a little bit of
Takeover.
hanky panky with it.
yeah.
And aha, look who's back. Well, all
So
right.
who do you
Well,
have to
I'll
register
just say that
with?
while you were gone, Barry and I pretty much got my point across, so it's no use rehashing it. Anyhow, and I was talking to Waldo. Waldo was on the bed, and I was going, "Hey, Waldo, come here, boy."
Now Waldo's on the floor.
Yeah, well, I tried to get
Now
him.
there's a phone call. You know how people put together their EOS team? I'm on another EOS team. So
Yeah.
so
That's
that was
awesome.
a
Oh, hey,
telephone call.
kudos.
Yeah,
Awesome.
I gotta help somebody track down their high school diploma.
Oh, that's good.
So
I was
yeah,
trying to
like
get
being on those
Waldo.
teams.
I was trying to get Waldo to come over to the computer, but he wouldn't come this way.
Probably could.
Yeah, I was
be
saying, "Hey,
interesting.
Waldo, come here, boy, come here." He wouldn't come.
The thing I have, he couldn't hear you unless he had those in.
Oh, damn, that's right. Mm. I'm not going to tell you what else I told Waldo. You have to watch the show yourself then.
Okay.
Anyway, I was showing Barry this thing while you were gone. Let me tell you
What the
something.
hell is that thing?
This is a SMR roller. It's for deep tissue
Torture
massages,
device.
like before you work
It
out,
is a
after you
torture
work
device.
out. So I went to Dick's Sporting Goods. There's a plug for Dick's. I like to go there because they give me money off. Anyway, and they got good stuff. So I went there and I was gonna buy one of the flat ones, but I saw this one. So I said, "Hey man, what are these things?" And the guy told me, he said, "This one is gonna get on you a whole lot harder than that other one will." So naturally I got it. And man, let me tell you something. It hurt so bad that I just lay there and I laugh because it's killing me. It just kills me. But it's great. Oh, listen, I've never felt better. This thing is awesome. And then I also showed Barry my drone.
Gary's like, okay.
Let me tell you something. I could fly this thing from miles away. Now, I've only had it about 1,000 feet away from me because the truth is I'm scared.
Of course.
The poor little drone's got
you
more
don't
heart
lose.
than I got. But I'll fly it again later on today.
Yeah.
I'm going to use it for making workout videos and stuff. And also, I am going to become a certified drone pilot so I could use it as a job, because drone pilots get paid a pretty good amount of money, like $125 an hour just for simple videos and photographs.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean,
Barry's looking interested now too.
Yeah.
Barry, is your brain
Yeah, I'm gonna have to
calculating
get
there?
me a drone. Yeah,
Listen, man.
get me a drone.
And this drone that I got, this is what I did. I walked first I went into a big box store and I said, hey, listen, I've never flown a drone. I never flew a drone before. You know, what can you do? And he's like, man, I don't know anything about it. So I left. And then I went to a place called Drone Nerds, right, in Aventura. I was on my way from a client down there in Dade County, so I stopped by. And I walked in and I said, hey, man, listen, I spent damn near 32 years in prison. I've never flown a drone before. I want a drone that I can use to make videos, good videos. And he said, this is what you want. And it's the Mavic Air 2. And it's a great drone. The videos, the camera system, the interface is so simple. I mean, almost anybody can do it. And after a little bit of practice, I'm sure anybody could. And it makes great videos. And the technology that's in these drones and just operating the drones is incredible. The drone knows where it's allowed to fly and where it's not allowed to fly. If you're across,
Oh yeah.
if you're across the street from a restricted zone and you try to fly into the restricted zone, it's just going to stop. It's not going to go in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey.
But then,
Hey. You give me you're not gonna send me to drone prison. I'm stopping right here.
yeah. And but then if you have the license, the commercial license, the drone pilot license, I guess you request them to open up a little hole in the restricted zone for you to do a job, and then you can do the job, and then it closes, because I'm registered as a recreational pilot, but my drone itself is in the computer with the serial number and everything. So I could ask for this specific drone to be given like a corridor to fly through the restricted area, and they'll give it. And then it could fly in there.
That's crazy.
And then, yeah, it's crazy. The
Who
technology
polices this?
Huh?
Who polices this? Who
The
puts up
FAA.
like where drones are allowed to?
The Federal Aviation Association. Yeah. Look,
Very
I'll show you.
interesting.
Check it
I
out.
learned something today.
Check it out. I'm going to show you. Oh, wait, no, it's not that one. It's this one. See? It's going to check. See what it says?
Stand by. We're checking if it's safe to fly. And then it says
blue.
danger. It doesn't say blue. It's now yellow. It says warning.
No, up here. Is that gray or blue?
That's gray.
Gray.
So
Well, that's what
you're
it
in your
is.
color blindness.
Certain ones I can't see. See this? Airspace authorization required. Nearby airport. All these different Opelika Airport. So it tells you all this stuff. And now you can see this part of Florida, all the different restricted zones where you can't fly.
I was just going to say, you realize you put your location on the internet, but then I remembered your location is already on the internet.
Yeah, okay, I'm in Broward County.
Yeah.
Well, it's not only that. You look you up on the FDOC website, they put all your information on there.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're on supervision, so
Yeah.
that's why I was like, oh, you don't want to do that. And then I was like,
Look.
Yeah, and that's
This is
a whole nother issue. I mean, are they setting you up for retaliation?
Of course. Of course.
They put your address and stuff like that. That's crazy.
You know, the crazy part about this is I know that I have done a completely 100% reprehensible act. Killing somebody is a terrible thing to do. There's no way you can look at it any different, okay?
Yeah.
The worst thing I've ever done is public record. The worst thing that I have ever done in my whole life is public record. And all the people who want to rail against me and talk all this crap, you know, he's a this, he's a that. Well, what's the worst thing they did? Because it's still a secret. You know, but because my worst thing is public record, now they all want to pile on. Oh, ooh, ah. But what about them?
That's projection.
Yeah.
That's
What
protection.
about, let me see, maybe they got a secret abortion that nobody knows about, or maybe they were addicted or are addicted to painkillers. I mean,
Or maybe they placed a child for adoption that nobody knows about.
sure, anything could have happened. Anything could have happened. So meanwhile, while they've got all this down low dirty stuff in their closet, the worst thing about me is public record. So now where I live gets to be public record, you know, all this other stuff.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's just a bunch of crap.
Oh, so I got my certification as a forensic social worker.
Very good, very
Thank
good.
you.
Golf
Thank you.
clap, everybody.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And one of the things that we talked about was, which I never even thought about, because we talked about juvenile justice and we talked about the school to prison pipeline, which I already knew, blah, 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 blah. But one of the things they talked about is how the crimes of the parents are inflicted basically on the children.
Yeah.
When you put in place where felons can live and not live, you are actually then making those children live in poorer neighborhoods with worse schools, which then perpetuates this whole incarceration cycle.
The cycle.
Sure.
Yeah. So it never really, maybe, you know, it just didn't occur to me about how that in itself is another really negative consequence of these laws about where felons can live. Or not even laws, it's really just restrictions that people are allowed to get away with.
Certain places,
like my
and
girlfriend, they
under
say he got
certain
out.
circumstances.
What are you saying, Barry? Hold on. Barry's talking about his co-defendant.
My co-defendant, Jeff, he said he had to stay in a hotel for like 8 months because he couldn't find an apartment because he was a convicted felon.
I was in a hotel for damn near a month, and I was going to end up getting one of those big toy hauler trailers to live in if I couldn't find a place to give me a lease.
Yeah. It's expensive. It's inconvenient.
Ridiculous.
It's not a permanent address to get, you know, ID at. It's not a permanent address.
You know,
it's none of that stuff.
I walked around the streets out here without a photo ID for over a month because I didn't have a permanent residence. I didn't have a light bill. And my probation officer at the time had no idea what I needed because most of the people had a photo ID when they got out of prison, but I didn't get released from prison.
I found out what you could have done. I asked somebody that works in classification, and your probation officer should have known this. You could have contacted the release officer from the prison, and they were responsible still for getting you your ID.
Oh, way up there at Washington?
Yep.
I didn't know that. All I got was
neither
this.
did I. I found that out.
Every time I asked a question, I thought we were in the gym because they were just shrugging. I don't know. I don't know.
I know. It's awful.
Yeah.
That's why I try to be as knowledgeable as possible so that way I can give it, because probation ain't going to give it.
I mean, it's not flying a drone, but it's still pretty helpful.
Yeah.
The drone is awesome,
for people
man. The drone is awesome.
Yeah, you think about the drone.
So your co-defendant had to live for 8 months in a hotel room, in a motel?
In a hotel, yeah, because he couldn't find a place that to stay with his background. And he was like, man, I was growing broke real fast, you know. So starting off, I didn't have nothing, but I was still going broke. You know, so now you're forced to try to either stay with somebody, but if you don't have anybody to go and live with, then it's ridiculous. Then once you decide to branch out on your own, because, you know, you should, as a grown person, you should move out on your own. Now you can't find somewhere to stay because they're allowed to do these background checks and say, hey, we don't want you to stay. I can understand if it was saying like, okay, for the sexual predator situation, you know, or whatever. But they just use a broad stroke and paint everybody, oh, no, you're a convicted felon. We don't want you in our neighborhood.
And like Robert said,
look, this was what I was going to buy and live in.
But they let you stay here.
Right there.
Yeah. Like Robert was saying is that, you know, they oh my God, I just lost it. I'm really tired. What were you saying before?
About his worst thing being public record.
Yes, thank you, Barry.
Worst thing being public record.
Yeah, so it's not like these people that are living in these nice places don't have deep, dark secrets. Hell, I watch a lot of true crime of unsolved mysteries and unsolved murders. So, you know, They just haven't been found. They're still living in the nice neighborhoods.
Yeah.
Yeah.
FYI.
And for this to be the land of opportunity, I guess opportunity is extending to newly released convict, not even newly, just ex-convicts, period.
No, they won't get anything. It's crazy. It's really sad. But it was because it never even occurred to me about how it goes to children, like to the children of convicted felons. Like that was just something that didn't occur to me. No.
Yeah. So now they're forced to move their kids to an area that doesn't take background checks, which
they're gonna have the cheaper housing, but cheaper housing in more depressed neighborhoods because we link property taxes to public schools. So the less property taxes that you collect, the less money your school gets. The less money your school gets.
Exactly.
Yeah, the less courses, older textbooks.
Yeah.
Teachers that aren't getting paid as much, and what teachers want to go really move to a district that they're not going to get paid as much.
That's what I like to call the snowball rolling to hell effect. You know how a snowball rolling downhill gets bigger?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when the snowball is rolling to hell and it gets hotter, the snowball gets smaller and smaller and smaller.
There you go.
That's what that is.
Yeah.
It's just awful. But that never really, and I knew like a whole bunch of other stuff, but that was like something that I never really thought about. And I think like that's another way to address, because I'm always looking for different ways to kind of get people on board with certain things. And like, not for nothing, convicted felons aren't the most like, group that you're not puppies, people aren't going to feel that.
Not the easiest people to find, people to jump on the bandwagon for.
But if you throw children in there and negatively impacting them, then some people might go, aha, perhaps we should stop this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm always trying to make it where it's more palatable. Unfortunately.
Yeah. And I like to talk to people. And I like to say little things like when they talk about convicted felons, that's like before they know that I was a convicted felon. And I'd be like, well, hey, you ever went to a party and had a few drinks, you know what I'm saying, and drove on home? Like, yeah, but I don't drive while I'm drunk. Yeah, but somebody could have ran in front of your car and you ran them over. But just because you had been drinking, now you got a DUI, and you could just that easy be a convicted felon. Would that make you a terrible person? No. I said, well, why would you paint everybody that's in prison as a terrible person? They made a mistake or lapse in judgment. Mm-hmm. Some people, you don't get me wrong, and some people need to be isolated for the good of society. Mm-hmm. But that doesn't mean everybody is a terrible person or that they're irredeemable.
Pretty much.
When you were a kid, you peed in your Pampers. People had to change you, but once you became aware and conscious, you grew out of that. And if you were sane, you even grew a revulsion for that kind of act. And so why can't the same thing happen for a person that's been convicted? Why can't they have made a mistake, and then once they've grown, not only do they not want to do those things, even get a revulsion for it. It might be even to help other people.
That's real now.
That's a hard road to hoe. It's not
because mainstream society still looks at it as a day problem.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah.
Yep. That's why it's always trying to make it into an us problem.
Yeah.
And looking at children, because generally people want to help and protect children.
Right.
Sometimes.
Yeah. See, and
sometimes.
I'm gonna wake the dead horse up for a second here. That's what I was trying to get at earlier, is that with the way that the Native Americans were mistreated, while it was different from the way that the African slaves and the descendants of the African slaves who are African Americans are mistreated and were mistreated, it's still looked at as a they problem instead of an American problem. Think what I was trying to get at was Native American has American in the title, in the name. African American has American in the title, in the name. So when is it going to become
And I bring up something.
American problem?
That in itself is considered an issue with some of the American Indian tribes because they are their own people, each with their own unique culture, circumstances, and a whole bunch of other different things. So for some of them, the term indigenous people, and some of them want to be called indigenous people, take out American altogether.
But you know what I'm getting at? That's pebbles. I'm talking about boulders. You know, the problem.
I'm talking about the viewpoint of the people that we're talking about, not from our perspective, because that right there is using your perspective to give.
No, what I'm saying is, when is the issue going to be termed an American problem, a we problem, and not more than a they problem?
Yeah.
That's what I'm getting at. Taking apart statues, taking down things, destroying something isn't the same as building something.
No, but it's something. It's
symbolic.
It is symbolic, and those symbols are there in order to, there's a thought behind it that those things are there in order to maintain control.
Right. Have you ever tried to eat a symbol?
No.
Can't do it.
A bear sign.
Yeah, right. You can't do it.
Wait. Wafer in a church service.
Yeah, communion. Yeah, right. Doesn't get you full, does it?
Yeah.
I mean, if you eat enough.
Nah, not at all.
Yeah, that's what I thought. And that's what they need to start thinking about, is how to put something on the table instead of just taking things away, saying, okay, we'll make it better by taking this away. We'll make it better by taking that away.
People are putting things on the table to make it better.
Huh?
People are putting things on the table to make it better.
Oh?
Yeah.
I think he was speaking more for the government, though, like when they were saying, okay, we're going to take down the statue, you know, because we now admit that this guy was a racist, and saying that when they're going to replace it with something reasonable, say, okay, we're going to take down the statue, but what we're going to do is we're going to start a fund for this.
Well, that's what we started to do. So they already started renaming streets. They've already started. I know. They've already, because you have a Confederate street names, like, so it's about getting rid of those types of things. And it's not getting rid of history. It's not like history is gone. We're just no longer celebrating these people. Like, you put up statues of people you celebrate.
I understand that.
They're your heroes. You don't put up a statue of a POS. Like, you put up statues of heroes. So we're no longer keeping these people, and not all of us had them on a hero state anyway. It's the people in power that had them in a hero state. So we're just getting rid of those symbols of, oppression.
I just think that there needs to be more significant structure and infrastructure put in place to make improvements and not just talk about making improvements.
I would rather they take those things down, melt them, and then go take that metal and go sell it and invest it in something that is actually helpful and tangible.
We're under 2 minutes.
Who the hell needs another statue?
We're under 2 minutes. Got anything you want to say?
I said a lot already.
2 minutes.
Yeah, we're under 2 minutes.
It's about time for the exit, ain't it?
Yeah, it's about time for the exit.
All right. If you like this video, please go ahead, like and subscribe. If you have any comments or questions, please write them in the comment section below. Once again, if you're having any issues with the Florida Department of Corrections in terms of them not following Chapter 33 or violating the rights of your loved one, please contact any one of us. We're pretty good with understanding the grievance procedure. Please. Yeah, and the channels that you need to go through in order to get those issues rectified. So please hit us up so we can help you figure out how to navigate what is a very large and unforgiving system. And I think that's it. Did I leave anything out?
No, pretty much got it.
All right.
There you go. All right, everybody.
Well, great, lively show today. I almost felt like Revis was here today.
Yeah, right.
Why? Who is Rebus?
You know, radical take Rebus.
No, I was saying the way you and Michelle going at it.
I'm just saying.
No, it's you.
I just want to see more done.
Rebus,
I want to see more put on the table and less taken off. That's all. See you guys.
Yeah, we understand
Bye.
where you're coming
Bye.
from. We appreciate you. All right, man. Y'all have a great one.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye.